What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today we're talking about my experiences fishing this reel that came out in 1979. Just fished it recently. I'll tell you my experiences with it, going back in time. We'll do it right now. Thanks everyone for watching. As you know, typically I'm talking about the latest and greatest and new releases, all different bait brands and tackle and stuff from Japan and things like that. But today I'm going old school with this Shimano Bantam 200. Now, the Shimano website, if you haven't been on there, there's a section on there that has the history of all their different products. I mean, from cycling to fishing. You could see the kind of the evolution of the Corrado or the Chronarch or the Bantam. It's really a cool site. If you're a Shimano fan, if you have those products, you can see, when they were released and a little bit of information about each different version of the reel. So really kind of a cool site. I'll put the link to that down below, but just thought I'd throw that out there. And that's how I found out that this reel, this original Bantam, was made in 1979. And I found this in a thrift store, or an antique shop, I should say, in Galveston. We were there last, winter, just kind of checking out antique shops with the wife, and saw this in there and had to get it. I think it was 10 bucks or something like that. It wasn't a crazy amount of money, and I just knew it'd be a great collector's item. But after I, had it and just kind of reeled with it, I knew it wasn't like too far gone. I could still use it. So I put a little bit of reel oil on it, spooled it with some blue monofilament, put it on a pistol grip rod, a 5'6". This is also a Shimano. This is the Magnum Light TX Graphite. So it's a 5'6" medium heavy. So I put it all together, and just to kind of round out the package with the mono and everything, got a water gremlin weight. Had to go with a newer hook style just because I don't have any old hooks on me. And, just a round bend, and then just a ribbon tail power worm. I just thought that'd be kind of a good way to fish this and kind of get the full impression of it. Now, initially, this thing was backlashing like crazy. I just couldn't get it dialed in. The thumb, it's not really a thumb, but the engagement right there, you push a button on the side instead of a thumb. So that took a little bit to get used to. Then you really had to thumb it. This was not a very good casting reel until I really dialed it in. Again, that's partially on me. But then the biggest adjustment was fishing with this little short rod, 5'6", and a pistol grip. I mean, you have nothing to hold on to. I mean, I will say it's good for like little roll casts and things like that, but if you're trying to make a long cast, it is really hard. But I stuck with it and kept fishing it, and I caught a fish on it. I was so excited, but it was just hard fighting that fish because you just got this little tiny reel. I mean, that's another thing too, is the handle is very short. I mean, so it's a really short handle compared to what we have now, where you have the 90 millimeter, 100 millimeter swept handles and big knobs that are really comfortable. This was not like that at all. So I just felt like I was reeling against myself with this little thing, and then trying to fight it on this pistol grip was pretty funny as well. But that's what we used to have, and that's what's funny is people always talk about the good old days in fishing or whatever. The fishing used to be so much better, this and that. As far as the tackle, I mean, the good old days are right now. I mean, this is way better. I mean, I could use any of the setups that I have that are even really inexpensive stuff, and it is light years ahead of this in terms of casting, feeling it. I mean, you think of things like fluorocarbon line. You're just way more sensitive than mono. Tungsten's way more sensitive than lead. And everything that we have now has just gotten better and better. I mean, that's across the board, so I do not want to go back to this style of fishing, but it was cool. I mean, you could still catch fish with anything, obviously. This was just kind of a fun experiment. Wanted to test it out and see if I could do it, but I don't think I'm gonna do it again. Just spoiled by the better quality stuff I have and the ease of casting and fighting fish. But this right here was engineered for BTX reels, it says right on there. Designed for professionals, the Bantam. This is the 200, so this may actually been a little bit later in the process, but let me know if you had any of these back in the day, or if you still fish them. I mean, they're a good collector's item. They look cool. They've held up. All the screws are visible on there. Everything is just old style. Older than me. It's really cool to look back at where we've come from. But again, we have some really good equipment nowadays that is much more user friendly than this stuff. Thanks for watching.